Hey Andrew, how you doing? Hi. Happy Sunday Funday. Where everybody at today? Y'all usually on time. Hey Corey. How you doing? You gotta log on Instagram if you want to see my guest. I don't think you're gonna be able to see him on here. He should be coming on soon. Happy New Year, everybody. I haven't spoken to you yet. Happy Sunday, Carice. I saw you had your dragon fruit mojitos. I was thinking about trying them. But instead, we got some passion fruit Moscato on deck. So you guys know how it goes. It's 100 dates in 100 days. We're going to bring on my guest shortly. We're going to talk about my journey into dating and new age dating. Let me see if I could bring him on here. Go.
Should put Do Not Disturb on.
Huh?
Hey.
Hey, how you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
How you doing?
Good. Football Sunday, just chilling out.
I know I'm interrupting everybody's football. I got yelled at for like the past 20 minutes. Like, do you understand it's playoffs? No, I don't. Sorry. Forgot.
It's cool. The Eagles not playing, so I don't care.
So this is how the show works. It's 100 dates in 100 days, right?
Okay.
I've been giving I consider myself a professional dater at this point. So I've been giving dating advice. On this show, we talk about like safety things that people should do, like expectations that people should or shouldn't have in dating. I think there's so many relationship shows out there, but nobody focuses on the dating aspect of it.
Right.
Like nobody talks about the dating first and like what their expectations are, or how do they transition between dating. So everybody that just logged in, this is Brad, sexy Brad, because as soon as I posted your picture, everybody was like, damn, where he live, where he from. I got a whole bunch of those in my DMs. I was like, I don't even know. So Brad, tell me, where do you live? Where are you from? You're in Philly?
Yeah, I'm Philly.
Born and raised?
What you want to know?
Huh?
What you want to know?
Born and raised?
No. So I was born and raised in Norristown. Live in Philly. Yeah. I've been in PA.
So I listened to you and Lawrence's show a little bit. I couldn't because it was my birthday. I was running around. Y'all were clowning me. I heard that. So that's part of the reason that I wanted to bring you on here.
Yeah, that's a lot of dates. That's a lot of dates. 100 dates, that's a lot of dates.
It's a lot of dates. It's not a lot of people, though. So as soon as I say 100 dates, people automatically assume I'm going out with 100 different people. And that's not what it is at all. It's 100 dates. So I blog about it. As soon as I come home, I do a whole little blog and I talk about like red flags that we see in dates, like date number one, right? But for whatever reason, we say, you know what? He's good looking or she's good looking. So forget that red flag. We're going to go on another date. And then we see 10 more red flags and we're like, yeah, but they're financially stable. They got this stuff together. So you know what? I'm going to go on another date. And before you know it, we're in a relationship with that person. And then we want them to get rid of all 50 red flags that we saw during dating.
Understood.
So I don't understand why we do that. So that's why I started doing the 100 dates in 100 days. I was married for 15 years.
How was that?
It was the best roller coaster ride of my life.
Okay. Marriage is tricky.
Yeah, marriage is tricky. But we didn't get to live together. So we were in the military, and the military never let us live together. So they always had us stationed in separate places. So every time we saw each other, it was like a honeymoon. So we had red flags, right? Obviously, but
how many years did you have to go through that?
7.
That's tough. That's tough on a relationship in general. Like, that's kind of like a long distance relationship type of thing.
But it was the worst kind because, like, we still had a whole bunch of rules, right? We had obligations to the military that came before anything else.
Right.
So, and the military tells you, like, if I wanted you to have your family, I would have issued you one. I didn't issue you a family, so that's not my problem. So we couldn't see each other when we wanted to. Like in long distance relationship, you could say, "What you doing this weekend? Let's go to Mexico." We couldn't do that. We had to get permission. So a lot of times, like, our permission didn't come in at the same time. So it was difficult.
Understood.
So I did that. I was married. I've been divorced for the past 3 years. So dating for me, like dating 15 years ago, is different than dating today.
Yeah.
And then I think once you've been a wife, like I think you kind of know exactly, you have this checklist of things that you want or you think you want. So that's another thing that I've been learning in this process, like what my toxic traits are.
Okay. So you find out a lot of yourself. So how many men are you dating in these 100 days and 100 days, 100 dates? How many men?
So I've been on dates with 6 different guys at this point. Okay. I haven't dated them all at the same time. Some have crossed over, but I haven't dated all of them at the same time. I get rid of them really quick. Like I'm one of those people. Like I see the red flag right away, and I'm like, "It's nice knowing you."
Are you going in with your guard up, seeing a red flag? Like, oh, I'm going to see a red flag, or is it subconsciously, or what?
No, and I think that's one of the things that I've been pretty chill about. Like, and that's another reason why I started the show is because a lot of my friends have they have deadlines that they have to meet, right? They need to be married. They need to have children. They need to do these things. I don't. I've already been married. I've already had kids. Like
Would you get married again?
Yeah, eventually.
Okay.
Eventually.
I mean, obviously, if you commit yourself to 100 dates, I think that the expectation is to find someone for marriage because you're looking for somebody, apparently.
I want my best friend. Like, I want somebody that I could talk to without my guards being up. I want to be able to say,
what does your best friend look like in your eyes? Like, what your type of man? If you had a specific your own world and you can find this particular man, what would that actually look like?
He comes with no judgment and no expectations. Like, I want somebody that isn't looking for me to make them happy because they're already happy by themselves.
Okay.
I don't interrupt their happiness. So I want them to understand that this is what my happy looks like. Don't try to change it. We'll grow together, but don't try to change me.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. That's on the top of your priority right there. Is that particularly?
Yeah. It's so definitely
no judgment, just open, just be flowing. Let's go. Okay.
Let's go. Like whatever
in 2021, I mean, most people want to be in a particular place where they can be themselves, you know what I mean, and be honest, you know what I mean? Because once you are your true self, you are as honest you can be to anybody. So if you're not honest with yourself, it's going to be kind of a little hard to be honest with someone else or your partner and be in a relationship to have those boundaries and rules where you can be like, yo, I like you just how you are, be you, and we'll be better together. So it sounds good. I mean, I
came from a very, very rigid debutante kind of family. Cross your legs, keep your back straight, have your makeup on at all times. Like you had to be perfect always. So being a wife, I felt like I had to be extra perfect for a long time. So I never felt like I could really be myself. So when we were going through the divorce process, I was asked, like, what makes you happy? And I was like, oh, when my kids are doing, and when my kids go to, and they were like, no. What makes you happy? So in the past 3 years, that's what I've been doing. I've been looking for what makes me happy. And now that I've found it,
You found it in you first, or you found it
I
in?
found it in me first. Like I wouldn't date, I wouldn't do anything else. It was just me, just all me. And I had to unpack all my bags because I didn't want somebody to help me unpack it. I didn't know what was in there. I needed to unpack it first. So now that I found it, like I don't want anybody to interrupt that flow.
Yeah, it's two types of relationships right now. It's either either happy bonded or trauma bonded. So it's either one or the other. So most people are trauma bonded right now for certain circumstances, and you just go through the motions. And others are happy bonded, and they building and they growing, and they finding out new things about each other, and they continue to grow. You know what I mean? Trauma bonding a little different. You know what I mean? So
I still got trauma though. Still got trauma. I know that you can't completely ever get rid of it. I've accepted that. And I think that's why I want to be in a no judgment zone, because I want people to understand that what I've done isn't what I'm doing, and who I was isn't who I am. So I think I made a post something along those lines yesterday, like who I am today isn't who I'm going to be tomorrow. So stop holding me in this box. I started feeling suffocated after a little while.
Okay.
So I have Facebook and Instagram going on at the same time, and I'm seeing people logging in. So, hey guys, you know how it works. It's 100 dates in 100 days. If you have any questions, post it in our question box. My guest today is Brad Baker, right? That's your last name?
Yep.
Brad Baker from Brad Baker Productions. He is from Philly. So ladies, do not ask me anymore. He just said it. Are you single?
Yeah, I'm single.
Single and dating, single and looking, single and leaving.
Single and healing. Single and healing.
I like that. Single and healing.
Yeah, healing. It's a lot of healing I gotta do. I'm not really like, I'm just healing. It's just a lot of stuff transcending myself. I don't know what space I am in, so I'm taking time for me, my family, my kids, my work, and that's pretty much where I'm at with it.
How many kids do you have?
I got two. I got a daughter and I got a son.
Aww. So you got the. So do you want marriage eventually once you're done healing? And
I don't know. I'm in a healing space, so right now, if you ask me this moment, I don't want to be married. But I think after my healing is over, right situation, right place, I can see myself married. Like I can see myself married.
Okay.
I like relationship. I love love. So for me to not want it as an end goal, it's a little awkward. But I'm in a healing state, so I can't really see it. So it's still some things I gotta unpack for myself to probably get to a space where I'm like, all right, I'm in that space of marriage. But it's tough, man. I mean, I got a lot of things where I see stuff about marriage where a lot of my friends, they're married. Some of them are in good relationships. Some are bad. Some are divorced. I'm like, I'm never getting married again. Don't do it. And there's others that be like, oh, I love this situation. It worked for me. You know what I mean? And just if I get into that space of that particular realm, then I'll jump through it. You know what I mean? I firmly believe that finding your soulmate in its purest form is friendship caught on fire. So if I find that and it feel right, then I'm gonna jump to it. If it don't, then
Why do you think we get divorced more now than we did before? I have my own spiel that people have gotten tired of hearing me say, but
expectations of humans, because people are going to people at the end of the day, and I think communication is big key. People aren't honest with themselves and what they want. Relationships go through different phases and different changes, and as you grow, priorities change, and they don't have those conversations of the priorities of the transition of the change. And so people don't see the growth in them, and they ignore it, and they just sweep things under the rug, and then eventually relationship starts to dwindle, and people grow apart. And people start to see other things, and other things grab their attention. So that's my little.
Do you think social media plays into that, or it's just people in general?
I mean, social media is the shiny object, right? We see it. We go down the timeline. You find somebody that's beautiful, that's sexy. You see relationships that's flourishing. You start comparing yourself to people and what they're doing, what they're not doing. Not understanding the whole portion of social media is majority of people are posting their highlights, not the adversity that they go through, whether it's success or relationship based. So people, you see those. So subconsciously, it might wear on some people, but for me, it don't. For me, I understand what social media is, right? Social media, for some people, you got to shine copper up to make it look like gold. And, whatever floats people boat, in regards to that. So social media plays a part, though.
I think it plays a part only because of what you could see. Absolutely. So I think that's why I post my bad and my good. so people could stop telling me that I think I'm perfect, because I absolutely think I'm the furthest thing away from perfect. So I try to post good and bad. Like, I don't go on there like crying, like how some people just sit with a camera in their face and they're crying about something and you don't know what they're crying about. That doesn't make sense to me either.
Yeah, people do
I
that.
think people go from one extreme to the next.
I'm selective of what I post. You know what I mean? I'm selective. I'm strategic. This is how I was brought up, how I was raised. A lot of my friends was that way too. We all strategic on what we do, what we show, type of thing. It's the mysterious things. It's 48 laws of power type of thing. You know what I mean? I like to be mysterious sometimes, so I'll post what I want to post. But I know me. I'm gonna post some things. I'll post some adversity, but I'm not posting a lot of adversity because some things are private and certain things that I'm not looking sympathy on. I'm looking to find and to grow from it, not specifically like, yo, this is what I'm going through here, but it is. Now, I don't mind on the back end to get a game to somebody of something that I learned of it, but I'm definitely selective on when I'm posting. I'm not posting nothing too
You
crazy.
seem like a really transparent person. I think that's why one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on the show is because parts of the show, like I said, I was hearing bits and pieces because I was driving. But one of the things that I had heard you say on Lawrence's show, you were talking about whether it was okay for your person that you were dating to talk to other people or date other people, and you were okay with that, and you were okay however she wanted to do it, as long as everything was about a conversation. Right. And that was extremely important to me because most guys, I've never met a guy. Let me take that back. I was about to say most guys are okay. Nope. I've never met a guy that said it's all about a conversation, right? Ever. People are saying like I'm open to certain things, but the minute you say I'm dating other people, and the minute I posted this show, everybody that I've ever dated was like, "Are you gonna put our business on here? Are you gonna report our date?" Like it became a, "What are you gonna talk about before you talk about it?" And I've never exposed anybody. That's where my my privacy era is. I've never exposed anybody. I'm not going to tell you name. I'm not going to tell what you do for a living or whether it was a good or a bad date. That's who I know who you are, and that's all that really matters. But most guys are open to conversations, right? You say something, and that's where the no judgment thing comes for me. I'll say something, and they'll be like, "You're interested in what? You want to try what?"
Yeah.
No, thank you. So what made you so open?
Yeah, I mean, everything's a conversation. Like people are scared to talk. People are scared to be transparent. Be transparent. Better yet, people are scared to be vulnerable. You know what I mean? And that's the conversation piece of it. Like, what make you feel uncomfortable? Make you feel comfortable? Would you be willing to do this? Would you be willing to do that? Some people just jump ahead and assume that you won't be this way or you won't accept them if they are this way, and they end up doing it anyway, or they reserve it and it hurts the relationship long term because they really reserve and it's not really who they truly are. And that's where the conversation piece come in. If you're not willing to have that open dialogue to say, yo, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what makes me feel uncomfortable, what you said made me this, and be open to hearing it and listening to it. You know what I mean? People are scared. That goes with business relationships, friendships, and any type of relationship that you're dealing with. It's just a conversation. A lot of things go misconstrued because people don't want to sit down like adults, have real, authentic, transparent conversation on how you feel. And then when people don't want to do it, that's how relationships get burnt and people start to grow apart. So,
do you believe in polygamy?
To a degree. I be joking and shucking the job, but it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. You know what I mean, ideally, most men in my mind, I would love to have two women at the same time. You know what I mean? Cohesively as a community, and we growing and we helping each other out and working. But I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm an expert in all of it, so I might be missing a lot of it. So the fact that I'm missing a lot of it, I don't want to subject myself to say, yeah, I am. Ideally, yeah, hell yeah. Like, I would be dope to have two real dope women. You know what I mean? We building and we growing, not just sexually, but financially, and we knocking goals down and stuff like that, and attaining certain stuff in our way. And if we happy, we happy. But you know what I mean? I play with it. I play with it. You know what I mean? I just don't base it off a sexual base because I'm not attached to that. You know what I mean? If I want two women, I could probably go get two women and find something sexually. But if I want a polygamous relationship, I want something where I can bond and grow off of it. And, you know what I mean? And get something.
Lawrence, welcome to the party. Lawrence, you're the reason that we're together now, right? He just
joined, bro.
So I think guys, their idea of polygamy is that He said for once he's in the crowd and he can talk his shit. Go ahead, talk your shit. Talk your shit.
Might have time for you today, bro.
Yeah, but I think a lot of guys see polygamy as like an endless threesome, but they don't think about two personalities from two different women that they're constantly having to make sure. And then you can't treat one woman differently and treat one. You gotta be able to play that balancing scale all day because women are competitive, right? So we're gonna be competitive even if we're two dope ass females in a relationship. We're still gonna be competitive. Like you took her on a date on Tuesday. Don't take me on the same exact date on Wednesday, but do something. It's just gonna be.
I look at it different. See, you can't love two people the same. Like I love my friends differently. I love them again. Even with my children, right? I got my daughter and my son. I got two different relationships. I love them both, but I love them each separately. So the expectation of me having two women and loving them the same, I couldn't really see myself loving them the same. I would love them in their way, particularly. It's just a matter of time management. And do I have enough of myself where we have an understanding where, I can, be like, yo, this is the expectation of me. What can I do better? And whatever the case may be, we come to an agreement. But again, it's tough dealing with one woman, let alone dealing with two. And I understand that. You know what I mean? Ideally, I've known someone personally that had a polygamous relationship, and it was pretty good. I mean, it ended, but at the end of the day, it still was a good like relationship for the time being. But then after a while, things get shaky, and again, like any other relationship, people grow, and the same priorities and same goals they had originally when they got in the relationship is no longer valid to them, and they probably got what they got out of it, and then we see no suit and keep it moving.
So let me tell you a little bit about my background. I was born in Brooklyn. My mother's from Brooklyn, born and raised, lived there all her life. But I grew up in the Virgin Islands. So the culture down there was different, right? It was completely different. Polygamy was the thing, right? It's not enough men. So it was okay for you to have two women that lived on the opposite end of the street. Everybody knew that they were both your women, but the women didn't interact with each other. It wasn't like a polygamous relationship that people describe now. It wasn't two women living in the same household, but it was two women that knew that they had children for the same man, that kind of lived together, worked together, did everything together. They raised their kids on the same street, but they stayed out of each other's way. So the golden rule down there was you can have as many women as you can take care of.
Respectfully.
So if you could take care of 3 households, you could have 3 women. But no woman could ever want or need for anything because that's how love was shown, right? It was shown financially. You have to be able to take care of my house.
Right.
And then that's how much you love me. So if you paid all of her bills, but you only paid half of mine, then you didn't love me.
Okay. I believe that too, honestly. I mean, there's a responsibility in having a family of 2 or a period. So I feel like even with family, you have to be in a position to you got to be in a position to take care of your family. Like when you have children and when you have a girlfriend, and if you walk into something and you a step parent, vice versa, you have to come into a role accepting that I'm coming in to be, being able to take care of a situation. So I totally agree on that. I mean, that'd be dope. Like, be able to do something like that. But again, it got to be a right situation. We're in an independent society now. A lot of women are making more money than the men, and a lot of women are more independent, and they feel like, I don't need no man, and I'm not subjecting myself to sharing anybody or anything in that format, and that's respectable. You know what I mean? Even though women outnumber men close to 10 to 1, 12 to 1. That's why, it's a little tough.
I don't know. I'm always kind of torn about it because, like, I don't have an issue. I don't need anybody to take care of me. Right? I'm one of those women that, like, I'm good. I could take care of myself. I've always been able to do that, even when I was married. I remember my aunt telling me when I was younger, like, in the house in the Virgin Islands, we didn't have air conditioning. And I would be like, oh, it's so hot today. And she would be like, well, just go marry a man that works at Hess. He'll get you a house with. And I was like, well, why can't I just go work at Hess myself? Like, and then I could get my own house with air conditioning in it. And then if I want to move him in, she was like, no, that's just not the way it works. But why not? So I'm always that why not person. But I've been in a polygamous relationship. Like my first relationship ever was a polygamous relationship. I knew very well that the person that I was dating was in a relationship with somebody else. Mm-hmm. She never interfered with me. I never interfered with her. We ended up.
How did you feel on nights when he wasn't around or wasn't with you? Did he always end up at night with you, or how did that make you feel when he was not around?
I was too busy, and I think that's what it is. Like, I kept myself super busy. Mm-hmm. So there would be nights that he would come home and I wouldn't even know because I was asleep. And then there was nights that he wouldn't come home, but I was out working. So, you know what I mean? So I think it was important for him to find two different, and I don't know how he did it. Maybe I need to sit down and ask him, like, how did you balance this out? Because he balanced it out perfectly to the point where I never felt like when I wanted him around, he wasn't there.
So was it out of sight, out of mind type of thing? Or was it like, he's taking care of what he's supposed to take care of, so I'm not going to be on his back. I ain't going to nag him. I ain't going to nag him about my time, or however that worked.
I never had a reason to nag him. Like, we went on vacations together. We slept together. We never went anywhere in secret. Nothing was a secret. There would be times that I would call him. So when I first met him, I was a virgin. And I wasn't ready to have sex, and I wasn't going to do it no matter what. Nobody was going to force me to do anything I didn't want to do. So he said, look, I'm a grown-ass man, and I'm going to do some shit. He was like, but I'll never disrespect you. Nobody will ever call your phone. They'll never disrespect you at all. So there would be times that I would call him, and I'll be like, hey, what you doing right now? He would be like, you really want to know? And I'd be like, nope, talk to you later. Bye.
Yeah, it's the transparency and the conversation that somebody's able to have. People aren't mature to have that. And the fact that you're able to receive it, I mean, is even better.
And I think because it was my first relationship, like, it kind of molded every relationship after that. So I've always looked for transparency from that point on, because he was always honest with me about everything, even when it was stuff that was going to hurt my feelings. And so I tell people all the time, like, somebody will be honest with you. That doesn't mean that it's not going to hurt. That doesn't mean that you're not going to have a reaction to it. But they still told you the truth. So receive it, process it in whatever way you need to, and then move on. And Lawrence, so what if island girls are freaks? Okay? He's such a mess.
You know that. Lawrence, them island girls is nasty, huh, bro? He like the Haitian women, Jamaican women, Virgin Island women. I love them too. They beautiful.
I don't know if we freaky per se, because I think we have a lot of indoor freaky, but living down there, it's a lot of like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, we don't do that. There's so many reggae songs about, don't give head, don't receive head. So many men that are in denial about the fact that we don't bow, we don't go down, we don't do this. They be lying. But it's okay. That's what they want to do in the street, as long as they don't do it when they get in the sheets.
I hear that.
So I don't know if we're necessarily freakier than anybody else, but when we do get into whatever we're in, we give our all of it. You get all of it, all at once. And sometimes it's too much. Have you ever been with a girl where it was like, you're just too much?
Yeah. In different beats, yeah. So, like, this is, I'm way over my head right now on this. Majority of times it depends. Like, I don't know. It's been rare, but.
Why can't I get rid of his question? Why won't it go away?
His question? Yeah, it wouldn't slide. I was trying to slide out the way too, but that's what it is.
What was I going to ask you? Something I was going to ask you before he started this island girl freak thing. So have you ever tried to have a polygamous relationship? Or have you cheated, I guess?
I've cheated, but I've cheated, but I've never have been open enough to have a conversation with someone to be like, yo, this is what it is. Because I never came in it that way. So for me to be able to do it, to be transparent, it would have to be something in the early stages saying, hey, I talked to this person, I talked to this person, I'm having a conversation, I'm dating you both at the same time. Would you be open to do X, Y, Z, Z? But I have yet to do it. I've had a conversation where I had a woman on the side where in past relationships where someone was, a little acceptive of my situation and kind of was like, I respect your home and what you're doing. Our time is our time in that situation. It worked for the time being for some. I know a lot of people that has that kind of situation. Like, When I see you, I see you. When I see you, you know what I mean? It still feel like a boyfriend-girlfriend situation or a relationship to that degree. But
so you think it's acceptable in like the dating scenario? Like when I'm dating you, I can do whatever I want to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not tied in. We're not locked into each other.
When you single, ain't no rules. When you single, there's no rules. Like you open to date whoever you want. You open to talk to whoever you want. You can fuck whoever you want. You can accept or not see who you want to see. You know, you dating. You know what I mean? You trying to get the feel of what feels right for you and what works for you. And through that process, I firmly believe date as much as you want. You know what I mean? Do what pleases you and do what was happy to you.
Now, do you say that to them, or do you I know
I can't get rid of it. I pull up. I'll sit up higher.
Okay. It won't go away. Lawrence, you see what you done did?
Came in disrupting.
Disrupting stuff. And it won't even go away.
I sit up a little higher. You just can't see my full beard. Nah, it's gonna flip your screen.
I did. Now y'all can see my messy office. Where I gotta file stuff away that I haven't done yet. So do you have that conversation with them? No? Do you think that they know that? Because I think that's one of the things that I found during dating is that people expect that once you're dating them, you're only dating them. And I don't know when that started. Like you have to date one person at a time.
I'm one of them, I don't ask the question. Like I'm transparent up front. So if I'm dating you or we talking, I'm telling you from the rip what I'm looking for, what I'm not looking for. And if you choose to deal with me in those situations, then our situation is cool. But I can only be honest about myself and what I'm looking for at this very moment. So I would have a conversation saying, hey, I'm not looking for nobody. I'm in the healing process. You know, if you want to date, you want to enjoy some time together, we can do that. But I'm not looking anything conducive that's anything serious right now because I'm still trying to figure out me and get my stuff together. And when that comes, that comes. But that you gotta have that conversation, you know what I mean? But that's not my responsibility. It's my responsibility, but it's also the person that I'm dating or talking to. Like you gotta know when to hold them, when to fold them. And if I'm being transparent and telling you what it is, you kind of just gotta go with it, or you gotta roll, or you know what I mean? Not stay, or go. I think.
But you think you should say it at least in the beginning, like this is where I am.
Oh,
this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? I'm full of people saying, yo, I'm not this. I'm into, I ain't looking for nothing serious. It's just sex, or, I'm just looking to date people just to get to know people, or this is where I am right now. I'm super busy, but I'm looking to, have somebody to talk to from time to time, or I'm fully looking for a long-term relationship. I'm looking for somebody forever. This is where I'm at. You should have that conversation.
What if you're halfway through it and this person is really dope and you've been healing and you just decide like, nope, I can't let this one go. Do you go back and you have that conversation again and be like, hey, I know I said this in the beginning, but.
I think that would be ideal. Probably or realistically, it wouldn't happen like that. The vibe would be the vibe. The flow would be the flow. And my actions, your actions go further than words anyway. So, you know what I mean? If I'm feeling you and this is what I'm looking for and this is what it is. But I think, you bring it to my eyes, you absolutely got to have a conversation with somebody and say, yo, I know we talked about this before. I feel what we got going on. I like our conversation. I like everything about it. Let's make this a thing,
Now, what if they say, you know what? I can't change the rules of the game because this is what I've been doing, but you're into it now. Yeah. Are you okay with continuing doing what you guys were doing, even though you know that you're there?
You gotta respect it. It's a twofold coin. So you gotta respect it. If I give you information to come back to, and I say, yo, this is what I'm looking for, and then the rules change for me, you know what I mean? I gotta respect on your end how you feel about it. If I feel like if I ask you like, yo, I know in the beginning I said I wasn't looking for nothing serious, but I like our vibe and everything like that, and I was thinking like maybe we could take this a little serious. And if they flip it on you and say, you know what, I think we are in a good pocket right now, I don't want to go there, you respect it. And then you have the opportunity to choose whether to say, all right, I'm out, I'm gonna sit it out and wait and see if this pan out, or if not, you gotta find what you gotta get in where you fit in. You gotta figure out what's best for you and what's conducive to your happiness. You got the cards in front of you. You got the information. The fact that you got the information. Shit.
I think that scares people because I've had that situation happen where like we've had the conversation and I think the conversation changed the vibe like entirely. Because the conversation was like, wait a minute, this is where you are now. I'm afraid that I'm gonna say something wrong or do something. Like the whole vibe changed after the conversation. So
people I think scared to be them. Like you gotta tell people how you feel.
Like it's kind of like one of those questions when people say like, once you propose to somebody and they've said no, do you continue the relationship on or do you break up? And I think that's what that conversation does. It kind of puts people in this headspace like, I have to do something. And I don't think you have to.
Like, that's tough. I mean, I've never been in a situation where I've never proposed, so I don't know it. I can only empathize to say what I would feel in the moment. Like if I propose to something, I don't know, man. It would crush me. It would crush me. Depends on if I work myself up to this very moment. Because it, like, as a man, it takes extreme courage to, you know what I mean? Like I salute people who propose. It takes extreme courage for somebody to be like, you know, this is what I want. Like, this is what I want, and I'm going to commit to you. I'm gonna get on one knee, and I'm gonna propose. Like, it takes a whole lot to do that, and I would be crushed. I don't know if it's probably ego. It's probably more ego and pride. Like, damn, she said no, but I would want to know the why behind it, you know. And if it's something that like, yo, not right now, or what's the why behind you said no, that might be more important than the no itself.
I definitely think the why is more important because I wouldn't want somebody to commit to something to me if they weren't ready for it. You know what I mean? And if I'd rather you tell me no than to say yes, knowing that you're never going to marry me or you're going to be a bad husband or wife. Like, just say no. Say no to it. Say no to it.
Yeah, just tell me no. I mean, I want to know the why. Don't tell me no. I want to know why. Like, you know, if you're going to say no, what's the why behind it? Because maybe we can either work through it or we need to think about what this look like from here. Is it together or is it apart? Is it a why? Like, yo, I don't know what the why would be that would make me stay. You know what I mean?
Other than what if you ask somebody out on a date and they say no? Do you still need to know the why? Does the why matter?
Nah, the why don't matter. If I ask you on a date and I'm trying to figure out like why you say no, you know, I'm not here to figure that out. It's on to the next. Okay, cool.
I agree. Because I had that conversation with somebody a while back, and they were like, "Well, I need to know why because if it's because I'm too skinny or I'm too," and I was like, "But what do you do then? Like, because you know, if you just walk up to somebody that you don't know at all, you know that whatever it is either they're taken or it's not a physical attraction. Those could be the only two whys, right? And what does it matter at that point? You're not going to change their relationship status, and you're not going to change your physical appearance. So just no.
Yeah,
and move on.
Yeah, I'm moving. I'm keeping it moving. I'm not sticking around for the answer for it. I'm out. Like, you know, it ain't no harm, no foul. Like, I'm not gonna be for everybody. So if I ask somebody out for a date, you may not feel me. In my opinion, as I always think, like that's your loss, not mine. Like, and that's how.
What about that 3-time rule that guys have? Have you ever heard that before?
What's the 3
I'm gonna ask you 3 times before I completely just not ever ask her again. Because I have guys that have conversations with themselves in my DMs for years, and all by themselves. They don't need anybody to talk to them. They're just okay with it. So, but I've heard people say like, ask a girl 3 times because she might be involved in something at that moment, but you could ask her again, kind of like catching her in a vulnerable state, and then she'll say yes.
That's never gonna work. I don't know no situation where long term that really worked. Like, people know what they want, like, and you might not be in that space, which is cool, but I'm not going. I've already shown interest to you. I've stepped out to say, hey, I want to, you know, get to know you a little bit more. If you shut that down, then cool. Then I understand what it is. Now, if you want to rekindle that, your ego and pride has to step back in and say, hey, I know we didn't talk before. You know, let's get together. If not, usually that don't happen. But
have you ever been asked out on a date?
Yeah, I've been asked out on a date.
Is it weird to you? Because I've heard that guys say that it's weird. It makes them feel uncomfortable. One guy told me that it'll make him feel like a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. My ego not the way for it. It does feel weird because I'm a manly man, so I'm alpha, so I'm going to initiate the conversation. It's weird to me too because I don't know how to receive things. Like, I don't know how to. I'm uncomfortable with receiving gifts and gestures. You know, as part of my trauma, because I'm always the giver, I'm always the provider, I'm always the doer. So when something on the back end is done to me nicely, whether it's small or big, I don't know how to accept it. So for someone to ask me on a date, it's like, whoa, like, you know, what's your motives? What's your, you know what I mean? Because this is out of the norm. So it's super uncomfortable for me anyway.
And see, I feel like any relationship that I've ever had that lasted long term, I've approached the guy.
Okay.
So,
what's your sign?
I'm a Capricorn.
Oh, so we the same. So you see what you want, you go get it. So
that's it. I go get it. And those are the longest relationships that I've ever had. Like my husband, I approached him. I was like, hey, what's up? What's your name? I didn't say it like that. But I absolutely, like, I walked up to him. So all the relationships that I've ever had, that's what's made them last.
Well, that explains your long term in your relationship too, because you understanding you're super empathetic to a lot of people. So you understand certain things, and you more patient than most are. You know what I mean? Like you could be cut.
Too patient.
You patient.
Patient. Yeah, I'm starting to accept the fact that I'm too patient and too accepting of things that, like, some things you just gotta let go. Some things you gotta let go. And I think I make excuses for people. That's one of my toxic traits. I make excuses for people that I shouldn't.
Capricorn trait.
Yeah, Capricorn trait. I make excuses for people. I could make, my father said I could turn anything into something. I make everybody a band-aid for every sword. That's what he calls it. I could make anybody's situation, like, no matter what they're doing, I could make them feel like, well, you were just trying to do this, right? So
I stopped doing that a long time ago, though, because it don't benefit us. It don't benefit us. I'm not making anybody anymore. People are going to people. And if you are who you are and you show me who you are, I'm going to believe it. And I'm going to move accordingly on what's conducive to me and my happiness and things of that nature. I'm no longer making excuses on trying to find a why for you. You did it. I feel you. And then I'm moving this way now, like, so to speak. So
do you feel like people get more upset with you in a dating process, though, because you're more like, you know what it is, you can see it. So you just kind of like, yeah, I don't want to do. And I think that's where my cutoff thing comes from. Because, like, I can make excuses for people, right? Like, I don't know if you've read some of the dates on my blog that I've been on, but, like, I went on a date with a guy, and he was, I guess he was trying to impress me, right? Here am I going making excuses for him. I guess he was trying to impress me, so he took me to a place that he had never been to, and you could tell that he was uncomfortable there. I guess I must give the impression that, like, I'm bougie, or I look bougie, or I don't know. So he wanted to take me to a really fine establishment, and then he couldn't recognize anything on the menu. But I think I offended him when I started trying to order for him, right? So I asked him what it is that he typically orders, and I tried to order for him. Have you ever had a woman kind of...
I hate that. Don't order my food.
It wasn't food. It was a wine bar. It was a wine bar, but it didn't have anything that he typically drank.
So I'm comfortable with that. If I don't know, by all means, give me your idea of what they have and what it is, and go ahead. I'm cool with that. But, like, if I know, I don't like that. I don't like, well, let me order. He wants the...
Now, I watched him struggle for a little while. I watched him struggle for a while. I can kind of tell, because you know how when somebody's flipping the same menu back and forth, like, what you looking for? It's only one page. You can't do anything else with it. So, but you would be okay if they were to... How do you step in, though, as a woman? I'm asking, teach us women, right? Us women who approach men who are very aggressive. I'm aggressive woman. That's who I am. Teach us. Tell us, if a woman was to approach you right now and ask you out on a date, because it's not typically acceptable to men, how would you like it to be done?
Before the whole date transpires?
Before we actually go on a date, she walks up to you. What does she say?
Hey, what's your name? Blah, 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 blah. Yo, I want to get to know you more. Are you taken, or, are you taken, or do you have someone? That conversation, and if it's yeah, nay, I want to get to know you more. Is there any way we can exchange numbers?
Don't kick
cool.
me.
All right, here's my number. I'm gonna give you a call tomorrow. I'm gonna text you tomorrow. You free anytime this week? I would like to go on. If we can go out, then we go out, and then go from there.
Okay, so then she asked you out. So does she choose the place that you guys go to? Is she formally asking you out, or her interest was enough, and then you're gonna take it from there?
As the man, I'm going to take it from there. I'll get to know, what you like, what kind of restaurants you like, what kind of food you like, and then I'll determine right there, what kind of foods or where I want to take you as far as like we go from that conversation. That definitely is an aggressive approach.
Rich and
I don't know. I mean, see, for me, right? I tell anybody I talk to in any realm of anything is be intentful. Like be intentful with your intentions. Like know people with your intentions. People don't know what your intentions are. So, for me, I want to know what be intentful. Like tell me exactly what you want. A closed mouth don't get fed. It's not so much of a aggressive approach. It's more so like, hey, I seen you across the room. I'm not quite sure. Blah 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 blah. You're still coming off gentle, when you're approaching somebody, not all of what's up, give me your number, I'm gonna take you. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Be intentful, know what you want, speak it, and move forward accordingly. And if it's not for you, you know what I mean, it'll show you if it's not. But I think that, in my opinion, I think that if you're straightforward, your intent is out there, like, yo, I want to get to know you, I like your style, whatever that is that attracted you initially from me, step up and talk the talk that way. And you should be fine. Like, most guys are not going to be like, whoa, who's this? Who's that? They may or may not, depends on your tone. You know what I mean? If it come off aggressive where I feel like, damn, she want to fuck, or damn, she really like me and want to get to know me, or damn, she feeling me, I'll be able to weed that out long term. But right then and there, like, be intentful. Be exact. Say what you say. It's a little different for me because I don't like gray area. I like black and white. Tell me what it is. If it's a no, I know what it is. If it's yes, then we can move forward accordingly, or vice versa. So,
who pays for the date?
The man actually always pays for the date. I mean,
why? I don't understand that. Why does the man always pay for the date? Teach me.
I'm a manly man, so my dad always had me on the time of me, of paying for women on dates. Like, the gesture of a woman to say, "I got this," is sexy within itself. But you're not paying for that check. We can
Would
go.
you get offended if she paid for it? I think for a guy, he got offended, like really offended.
I wouldn't be offended. Like, I'm not that extreme, but if we're on a date and she want to pay for the tip or something like that, or we're in a relationship for a long time, or if she want to take me out, it's fine. Like, I'll decline it twice, and the third time that she insists, or second or third time I feel like she's like, no, I got it, then I'll fade the black to it. My ego won't be bruised by doing it, but I think men should pay for dates. I teach my daughter that same things. I teach my son the same way. My son the same way. Like, men should pay for certain things. Men should do certain things as men. Like, I'm courting you. I'm getting to know you.
But are we courting each other when we're dating? No, you guys are just courting us.
No, we are. I think men are courting. Like, damn, I never even thought about it like that. I mean, damn, I never put thought into it.
I feel like whoever invites the person out on a date, right? If I invite you, I pay. If you invite me, you pay. That's just how and nobody taught me this, right? Because my dad is definitely a pay for everything kind of guy. My dad took me out on my first date to show me like what an example of a date should look like, and told me never accept anything less than this. So everything that I do is against what my family has taught me. But shout out Dad, because I know he gonna watch this in a little bit. But he taught me everything about dating. He's held every door. He brought me flowers. He brought me home at a decent hour. You know what I mean? And of course, he's my dad, so he ain't trying to make no moves on me. And then he said, never accept anything less than this. But I treat people respectfully when I go out on dates. Like, I'm one of those girls that if you open the door for me, I'm gonna reach over and open the door for you, right? Because we're courting each other. I don't feel like, and I guess that's just me. I want my men to feel special too. But once we're in a relationship, then yeah, because our accounts are at that point, maybe not accounts, but dates are gonna be more frequent because you have to keep dating me, right? So yeah, I pay, you tip, I pay. We flip flop it, so it's never really on any one particular person. I think that applies too much pressure, especially because I know what I like to do or where I like to go, and I don't like to count anybody else's pockets.
Right.
So if I choose the date, then I want to know that we're gonna go and we're gonna have a good time. Be comfortable. Order what you want, or I'm gonna order what I want because I like to eat. So
I think in a date in itself, anytime I go on a date, I'm not gonna put myself in a position as a man where I can't afford it. If I can't, we'll wait and I'll hold off on a date until I could afford it. At the times where I couldn't afford a date, like if I wanted to take you somewhere, I'm transparent with it. Like I'm always who I am. So you never going. I mean, you get people's representatives in the beginning. That's one thing I won't do though. I'm not doing that. Like you gonna know, like hey, listen, can we do this Friday? This Friday not gonna work. Let's can we do next week? Can we do next Friday? Like I just paid all my bills in my mind. I'm not gonna tell you that, but in my mind.
But what? I guess in dating you shouldn't tell them that. I was about to say why, but no, in dating I wouldn't tell you that either. But I think what happens, this has been my experience in this 100-day dating process. Guys will want to take me out. They think that where I want to go is someplace that's like extremely fancy, so they can't afford it right now. And then what happens is we don't go on dates as often. So then I lose interest extremely quickly. So like if you don't take me out on a date within the first week or 2 weeks of us talking, I don't want to go on a date anymore.
So how's it been since the pandemic? Everything's been shut down. Everything's been closed off a little bit. The pandemic kind of restricts you dating for that timeline period. Is that realistic to you now still, or?
So I'm in St. Louis where nothing has ever shut down, ever. We're the worst. I stayed home for from March to August, maybe. I didn't do anything at all. But then after that, I did outdoor places. So take me somewhere outdoor, because it doesn't have to be. So here's my thing with dating. I don't think your first date should ever be at a restaurant or a movie theater, ever. Like,
okay, what's the first date look like for you?
Let's go for a walk. Let's go to a coffee shop. Let's go to a wine bar. Let's go somewhere that if we don't really like each other or we really don't vibe, we're not waiting on a meal. We're not waiting for a movie to be over.
You're a rarity, because most women want that meal regardless. That's their compensation for their time, is the meal itself for the date. Most women aren't like, my first date, my first situation, I want to be in and out of it. Most women will be like, I want my meal.
Now, I plan my exit plan before I go on my date. And I'm telling on myself now because I think I saw somebody that I dated log in. But so this is what I've done. I have a friend of mine. We always drop a pin to where we're going, right? That's a safety thing. Just in case I turn up missing. She knows where I was and who I was with.
Should do that. All women should do that.
And then 30 minutes into the date, she calls me, right? So if it's something that I feel like I need to get out of, she stays on the phone until I walk to my car. Because we don't want any white vans popping up. I pull it's an emergency. I'm sorry, I gotta go. But if it's somebody that I like, I tell her, hey, I'm out. I'm sorry, can't talk. And I get off the phone. And then for the rest of the night, I don't touch my phone at all. But that's our safety tactic. I gotta be able to get out. My exit plan is set. Because I need to make sure that I'm in a city. None of my family or friends are here. So if I turn up missing, it'll be a little while before somebody figures it out. So gotta have an exit plan. But no, I don't want a dinner. I don't want us to sit down because one, I feel like nobody's themselves at dinner, right? Because nobody really orders what they want to eat. Like you're not gonna order the chicken wings.
What's important? The meal. What's important on a date? The conversation or the meal?
It's the conversation. So you can't, and I don't feel like you should talk with food in your mouth. So it's just, I think it's a bad idea all the way around. Like people aren't eating the way they typically eat, and you can't eat and talk. So it's a lot of pauses in between conversations. Let's just go to a wine bar. Let's order a bottle of wine. Let's sit here and let's have a conversation. Mm-hmm. Let's go do something fun. Like let's go. In one of the 100 dates, I went to Top Golf because Top Golf kind of had everybody blocked off the glasses in between us, so they tried to do their social distancing. That was dope. So let's do something fun. Let's do something where we could keep moving, but we could keep talking, so we're not locked in and we have to lock eyes with each other. And I think that makes people uncomfortable too.
Mo, you're a Capricorn too, so you're in and out too. You always gonna have a contingency plan to say, Operation Frantic. Let me call somebody to get in and out of a date. But I get it. I mean, I love good conversation like that. I mean, I mean, dates, I don't know. For me, my go-to date is definitely we going out to eat. We going to enjoy some food. That's a topic of what we can discuss. Like, this was good, this was not. I ask her, but I already got questions loaded on what I'm going to ask you beforehand. Like, I ask a bunch of scenario questions and to get to know you without knowing you. Like, I ask a bunch of questions. Like, I'll ask, so I'll give you one of them. So one of the questions I would ask in a dating situation scenario, and I'll tell you what it means afterwards. I'll say, you got a friend that did you go to school? Did you go to college? Let me ask you that first. Did you go to college?
I did.
Okay. So do you have a friend that like y'all really, really cool, but y'all rarely see each other. But when y'all see each other, it's all love. Like, oh my God, I miss you. How you been? Do you have a girlfriend like that?
I have 8 of them.
All right, so cool. One of your girlfriends says, "Nah, oh my gosh, I miss you, girl. I haven't seen you in a while. I met this guy, and I'm so in love with him. I can't wait for you to meet him. Blah blah blah. Oh, I can't wait. Next time I'm in town, I'll meet up with him." So you talk to her, and she says, "Yo, I want to meet up. You in town?" She says, "All right, cool." You pull up to the date, and it's a guy she brings up is a guy you used to date. You had sex with him. Nothing really involved, like nothing really too crazy. Just y'all mutually decided that you're going to move apart and not take parts in this no more, and y'all just have a good rapport with this school. Do you tell your friend who you've never seen that happy over a guy and in bliss of a guy, do you tell him that you used to date him and have sex with him, or do you allow her to, you don't say anything and allow her to let it unfold how it unfolds? What would you do?
So all of my friends, we're extremely transparent with each other. So, but I would tell him, I wouldn't tell her separately from him, right? Because I don't have anything to hide. So it would be one of those, like, we're all sitting at the table. He walks up, I'm like, hey, and she introduces us, and I'll be like, hey, we know each other, don't we? I would say it right in front of her. So we're putting it all out on the table right now.
Oh, so you've never seen her that happy, so you're just going to eradicate it right there?
No, because I think with my friends, because I know my babies, they're not going to get upset about that. Like, we might joke about it later. They might call me later and be like, so did he do that one thing with you? Or is that something new? So that's the kind of friends that I have. We are a rare group of friends, and we understand that about each other. So, and that's why we love each other so much, because we'll clown about it. Because we have a bros before hoes mentality too. That's how we are. So she'll still continue to be happy because she'll understand that it was something that happened a long time ago. Now I also have friends that we're friends, but we're not friends. I wouldn't bring it up to them.
Okay.
Those friends I would, because we're close, but we're not close enough to the point where.
Cool, but not that cool.
Yeah, so I wouldn't bring it up to them because it would be pointless to me.
All right. So I asked that question. That question is for anybody. You ask them. It's just to see someone's morale compass on how sneaky they are, how truthful and transparent they are. Some people, I would listen for own reasons, so there's no right or wrong answer to that. But you intended on how you get it back. So if a person like, yo, I'm not saying nothing, that's her business. You take like, dang, I'm your friend, I'm close. So if something would happen that way and we are close that way, would you tell me in a situation like that? Or how would that be? And that's one of the questions I would ask in general up front. And then you see people more like, I'm telling somebody, I'm going to be honest. I want people to know what it is that's going on and vice versa. Like,
see, but I get in trouble for that because I tell on myself. I always tell people I am honest to a fault. It's my blessing and my curse, right? Mm-hmm. I tell on myself way before. And some of the things that I tell on myself for, I didn't even have to tell. Like, but I've dated people or been with people in relationships with people in the past that they just can't get past it, right? But I'm like, you would have never known if I didn't tell you. So don't I get like some brownie points or something for being the one to tell you?
Right. Yeah? Me, I'm gonna be transparent. I'm gonna say something. I'm not gonna say something there just because I don't want my friend or my associate that I'm close with later on to feel some type of way. I'm gonna say, hey, yo, look, before the shoot comes out. It's gonna cut off. Like, oh, so why you ain't tell me?
It's gonna cut off on us in twos. See if we get our people back. Welcome back, welcome back. I got Brad. He's coming back on with me. I'm gonna drink all this passion fruit Moscato in the meantime. 100 dates in 100 days. How many guys? So I have a question for you guys. So when you get back on here, how many dates, or how often do you guys date? Do you stop dating once you're in a relationship? Tell me. He's gonna get back on here. Why can't I? There we go.
The hell is that to think about? Said I'll fucking think about it, alright?
Get people back on here eventually. They probably was like, what happened? But at least we got Lawrence's comment off now, because it seems like that's the only way it's gonna come off.
Did you when you originally did it? Did you have the questions and the answers up already?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
He's coming back. So you give them a scenario, and then it tells you what their moral compass looks like?
Well, that's one of the questions. I ask a bunch of questions, but that's one of the questions that I ask. I asked a couple. Just to get to know people. You got ask sometimes, right? You got to ask certain questions to get this answer out of people. I'm a firm believer. Sometimes you got to lie to a liar to get to the truth. Some people, not all liars, but sometimes you gotta maneuver around it to get to some of the questions, getting to some of the answers to get to know people. Because some people, you gonna meet their representative. Most guys in my position, depending on where you at, if my intent is to have sex, is to do anything not to fuck up me not having sex with you. Or my intent is, damn, I'm going to make you my girl, is to do everything I can do and not do to mess that up. So why not ask questions that, that'll get you to know a person, but outside of me asking you what's your favorite color, what the fuck is, what kind of food you like, walking or running. Like, ask people intentful questions. I got another one I ask. This is probably different. This is probably something to your wheelhouse, but you ask a person, if you had a dream job, what would it be? Nah.
Right now, currently, I don't want to work for anybody. I want to own my own business.
And what would that business be?
I currently own a catering company, so I want to own my own restaurant.
All right, cool. So say this restaurant is in New York right now. Currently, you're catering in New York, not where you're at now. Currently, you are married right now. Currently, with a newborn, a 6-month baby, and you get an offer to be a caterer in LA. The only caveat is you can't bring your family with you for 1 full year. You can only talk via FaceTime or text. Would you take the opportunity to be this huge celebrity caterer for 1 whole year, or would you say no and not take the job and be able to do something else?
So after doing the military, no, families first. Families first. If the opportunity knocked once, it'll knock again.
For 1 year, 1 whole year, you make millions of dollars. You can put yourself in a position to.
I'll miss all the first everything. I'm 6-month baby. I'll miss the first steps. I'll miss. Definitely, I'm gonna say mama first because mama not there. I can't do it. Family gotta come first.
Okay. That's different. That's crazy. This is the first time I've ever asked anybody this that was in the military because my like I ask people that because people in the military make sacrifices like that all the time. Like, well, why not? It's 1 year. People in the military do it all the time. You know, my way of asking that question is to find out you know, like, what's your reason why? Some have selfish acts and certain reasons why. I'm going. I don't care about my family. I'm not doing that. And third, well, why? Because it's money and I'm going to be able to get certain things and you'll be able to get certain things out of them. If I ask them and they're like, no, family's more important to me. Like, I love my family. It's a discussion I got to have with my husband. And if we come to a agreement from a conversation of it, then I would consider doing it. Other than that, I can't miss my XYZ. Me.
And I did it. I missed it. Like, I left my first deployment. My baby was 5 months old. And I cried all the time. Like, and I felt like it was pointless being there because I wasn't giving my entire self while I was there because I was missing everything. So all I wanted to do was like FaceTime. And when I came back home, I remember telling my mom, like, he's not going to know who I am. And she's like, yeah, you know, we show him pictures of you all the time. And we kind of like make sure that he knows who you are. My family was very like, everybody kind of dived in to help me out. Shouts out family. But I still, my mind and my heart wasn't in where I was because I wanted to be with my family. So I can only say that because I've already done it. And if I had the choice to do it again, I would have definitely chose family first.
Okay. All right, understandable. Me, as a person on the opposite end, I would push my partner to go there for a year, to sacrifice it. I know opportunities come once in a lifetime, and opportunity and time align. You got to go do it. It's an opportunity that we can't miss, especially in my line of field. I'm a playwright. If I would want the same push, because to know that there's no malice intent behind me going. The intent is to make a better life for my family and to bring you guys over after a year, and then we be able to live whatever. Whether I bring you here, or we move back, or I start my same thing, I'll go from there. But yeah. I mean, I see that's crazy. You're in the military. I usually use that like, well, people in the military do it all the time. I'll give you
choice. In the military, you don't have a choice,
well,
right?
No, you don't have a choice.
And I think with people say like they would go out, whatever, but you don't have a choice. Nobody's giving you a choice. I remember being on a deployment. I was only supposed to be gone for a year, and they extended it out 6 months. And my mom was like, "Tell them you need to come home." I was like, "Tell who? Like, who am I going to tell I need to come home?" And she was like, "They understand you have kids." Yeah, they don't care. They said they need me to stay another 6 months, and she called Oprah. She called Steve Belko's show. Like, she was called writing letters to the Pentagon to tell them. I was like, you're gonna get me in trouble. Don't call anybody. I'm not doing any interviews. Like, I understand what my obligation is. I signed up for this. So, like, if I had a choice, though, I'm gonna have to say family. Because even now, that son, he was 5 months then, he is 14 now. And I have great relationships with all my children, but our relationship is different.
Is it subconsciously that? Why? Or you think it's strained because of it?
I think he didn't know me. Like, for a year and a half of his life, I was gone. And it was the beginning stages of his life. So I was gone. He loves me to death. Like, he's still the one that comes into the room and checks on me in the morning, but our relationship is different. And I have 4 children. So
what does he fall under? What child is he? Is he the middle?
The third one.
He's the what?
The third one.
Well, he's considered a middle child. So the middle child always has a awkwardness or introvertness to them. You know,
so maybe self-loathing or self-punishing.
Yeah, you in your head with that. Like, most middle children will do it. I'm a vet as well. I was without my kids. I do it again because of it. I'm better. That's what's up, or Nia. For sure. Like, I mean, I think that's dope. I think people should chase after their dreams. I think I position that question based off of what is your basis around it? Is it sacrifice or selfishness? You know what I mean? And if it's selfishness, then I understand the dynamic of the relationship that I'm getting into with a woman. If that she's, you know what I mean? If it had to be a choice between us and her, she's going to choose her. And if it's a decision about us and a sacrifice, it's a conversation between us. And I'll take the conversation about us and a sacrifice any day, besides having a conversation about with someone that I know that's selfish, that has selfish intent to say, shit, I'm a survivor. Because there's two types of people in the world, I believe, also. There's people that's raised off of love, and there's people that's raised off of survival. And people who are going to survive are going to get in when they fit in. People that's raised out of love is genuinely going to have open abundance of love to say, I want the best for you, or the best for us in totality.
I get it. And I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm punishing myself for not having that relationship with him. But I think that if I had to choose, I would choose family. Now, if it was like if you said I had just been married for 6 months and it's a new relationship, right? Would I choose? I would have to say, and I think it's just a relationship with my kids. Like I would choose, like, hey, babe, you're gonna have to understand I'm doing this for us, and I would go if it was a relationship, but I wouldn't go for a child.
I got you. I'll give you one last one, but you're gonna need a paper or pen to do this.
I'm gonna need a paper or a pen?
Yeah, you're gonna need a paper or pen.
Okay.
Go ahead, get them real quick. So this one, y'all, I'm gonna give y'all should take this too. This is a dope thing. This question that I'm gonna pose to her, it's a 3-part question. I'm gonna tell you what it means after it's done, but it's a good situation to get to know a person without getting to know a person. So I ask this question all the time. I even ask coworkers and things of that nature. All right. So now I'm gonna ask you 3 questions. Right? I'm gonna give you 3 scenarios. You're gonna give me 3 emotions on how you feel, and when I'm done, I'm going to give you what they mean to you. All right.
Okay.
First one. You're in a room full of people dressed up. You're in all white. You're dressed in all white. Everyone in the room is looking at you. Give me 3 emotions on how you would feel. You're in a room. People are all dressed up. You're wearing white, dressed up, and everyone is looking at you. Give me 3 emotions on how you would feel. Only reason I said write it down is because I don't think I'm going to be able to remember it.
Okay.
And then when you're done writing them down, tell me what the 3 is.
I'm excited, I'm embarrassed, and I'm happy.
All right, cool. Next one. You are in a pitch black, dark forest, all alone, no one around. Give me 3 emotions how you feel in this dark forest, alone in the middle of nowhere.
Ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Vulnerable, scared, and weird.
Okay. Last one. You're on a beautiful, deserted island. White sand, water, 85 degrees, nice breeze, beautiful weather on this beautiful island. Give me 3 emotions on how you would feel on this beautiful, all alone by yourself, deserted island by yourself. How you feel?
Only one keeps coming to mind. Relaxed, and relaxed.
3 emotions. So relax is 1.
Okay, so I said relaxed, happy, and content.
Cool. All right. So the first one I asked you, I said you're in a room dressed in all white with people in the room that are dressed up and they're all looking at you. And you said your emotions were, 3 emotions were?
Excited, embarrassed, and happy.
All right. So that's subconsciously how you're supposed to feel, how you would feel on your wedding day.
Okay.
The second one I asked you was you're in a dark forest all by yourself, all alone with no one around you. Give me 3 emotions. You said?
Vulnerable, scared, and weird.
All right. That's subconsciously how you feel about death.
Oh.
And the last one, I said you're on this beautiful, deserted island, white sand, clear blue water, 85 degrees, warm breeze on this beautiful island by yourself. Give me 3 emotions. You said?
Relaxed, happy, and content.
Cool. So that's supposed to be subconsciously how you feel about your life right now.
And it seems right, because on my wedding day, I was excited. I was definitely embarrassed. It was too many people. legs was shaking, but I was happy. And obviously don't know how I'm gonna feel about death yet, but
experiencing death. That's experiencing death. Like if death happened to someone close to you, that's how you would feel. And then that last.
That's definitely how I felt when my little brother died.
Okay.
And then content. Yeah, I'm definitely happy and content and relaxed right now.
Okay.
So
I ask those questions. You get to know people a little bit, and I'm a big proponent in standing out when you dating people, right? How do I stand out? You are jockeying yourself for a position for essential a job that you really want that's obtainable. When you dating somebody, and if you got to do it, you have to make yourself memorable. Like what would make you stand out of all the people that are in my DMs, all the people that are trying to date me, all the people that are saying they want to do certain things. How does that play a part? And I get to know how you are, by asking you questions like, well, that last question about, how you feel about yourself right now is a total part on me. Are you broken right now? You know what I mean? Do I have to deal with that? Is it trauma? Like, you know what I mean? Would I be scared and, helpless and lonely? Then you're like, okay, that's a red flag right there. There's some trauma right there that might need to be dealt with before I have the conversation with myself. But they're conversations that you had. But I ask those questions all the time. There's 2 to 3 questions. I ask a bunch of questions, but those are some of my top tier questions that I ask people to get to know. And you be intentful when you dating. You know what I mean? You find those informations out. You say that. And go from there.
Asking questions. I never really ask questions. I think because I go to people. I used to say that I was looking for honest people, right? I wanted to date somebody that was honest, but then I realized that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for transparency. So I need somebody that knows the difference between honesty and transparency, because you can be honest if I ask you the question, but if I don't ask you, then you don't have to tell me. So
yeah, that's 2 different people. Like, it depends. I respect information, and people will tell you information when they need to tell you information. But if you don't need to tell me, and if it's something that you feel like I need to know, then I need to have that conversation, because eventually it's going to come out. But if it's something that internally that you want to deal with within yourself, then I'm all for it. Like you can't rush people to give you information, right? People are going to give it on your own time, or you'll get spoonful a bunch of stuff, or people are going to be standoffish, feel judged and judgy. Everybody's not like me and you, where we're like, I empathize a little bit more about people's situations a little bit more, and then we try to make excuses of why certain things are happening to people, opposed to like, this is what it is. So be receptive. I be receptive of that. Like,
and that's what's scary to me, because I've never actually dated a Capricorn, and somebody said that it should.
Yeah, it's like it's shadow boxing, so it's tough.
Yeah, I think that it'll be weird. I think it'll be, because I can't date me. I love me, but I can't date me.
Yeah, it's tough. We got Capricorns naturally got really good chemistry together, but it's tough because you shadow boxing, because a lot of things that we think about, and we like, we second guess certain things. So it's the same thing on both ends. It's weird. I was talking to some girl
that Capricorns can only date Virgos. Like, that's our match. Every astrology.
Yeah, it's Virgos and Tauruses. I had a bad. I don't want no more Virgos.
I've never dated either. I've never dated a Virgo or a Taurus, so I don't know.
I'm like I said, I'm big on signs too. So I'm big on signs. That's how it's the study of people. I don't put no other emphasis in that. I know how to determine what it is. I know someone's worth ethic based off of their zodiac sign. If I know that I'm dealing with a Gemini or a Cancer or a certain specific zodiac sign, I know what the threshold is about the worth ethic. You know what I mean? I know if I got to be on you a little bit more. I know if you're going to be a front runner. I know if you're about your business. I know. I do that all the time. I ask people like, yo, why you ask about signs? You weird. Like, no, I need to know your zodiac sign. When was you born? Cool. You a Gemini? All right, I know you work hard and you're going to go hard, but I know you got a flip side of this, that if you get pissed off, it's going to flip to here. You want certain things aligned and detailed in a certain way. I be with all that. So I'm telling
you. Agree? You think that Capricorn should only date Tauruses and Virgos? What's important to you in a relationship? Let me go back. Is it the work ethic? Is it family? Is it what's important to you?
Now, what's important to me now in a relationship? That communication got to be A1. I you know what I mean? My like next situation has to be like a full. I would want check-ins. Like I would want like monthly, daily, like not daily, but like monthly, like something realistic or bi-monthly or bi-weekly, like check-ins to see like mentally like where you at. You know what I mean? Are we aligned or are we not aligned? You know, or what's going on? You know, because some things you want to just go through your head, but I want to be aligned. Like that's my number one priority is communication.
They told me that I was being too pushy. Like I was forcing them to tell me their
yeah,
feelings.
I vibe well with Scorpios too. Scorpios and Capricorns vibe well because Scorpios are so loving. They so selfless too. So they like they.
So I was married to a Scorpio. So absolutely, we get along. We get along really, really.
Scorpio. I love Scorpio women. Not the fact because they nasty, but the fact that they are attentive. They are all in. They are loving. Like if you got a Scorpio, they are all in for you. Like
I felt like it was, and I don't know if this is a correct phrase to use, but like, because I've always said you can't love somebody too much, but I absolutely felt like my relationship with my Scorpio, he loved me too much.
Yeah, they love hard. I mean,
it was too hard.
People love languages too. So like certain things, I like that stuff. I'm a touchy feely. I'm touchy feely and I'm words of affirmation. You really don't have to do too much for me. Like, you know what I mean? Just what is it? My man Jermaine said it. Jermaine Daly is the 3 F's. Fuck me, feed me, flatter me, and I'm cool. Like I'm really self-sufficient. I'm gonna probably take care of everything else outside of that. But
see, I want time, but then I also want time to myself.
My bad.
Like, and I want the person that I'm with to be able to tell the difference. What you do. I want the person that I'm with to be able to tell the difference. Like, I want quality time. So I want the time that we spent together to be meaningful. But I don't want you to just be sitting next to me for no reason. Like, we're not doing anything. You're just sitting here breathing my air. Like, let's watch.
It's so weird. You want me around, but you don't want me around. But I want you to be around because we want it, but I don't want you around because it's hard to read.
And I know that it's weird. I know that it's a toxic thing, one of my toxic traits. I know that about myself, right? Because I'll tell people, like, I want you here, but, like, stay over there.
Yeah.
Like, get over there.
I mean, I enjoy my space, too. Like, I'm a natural loner myself, so it don't really matter for me to be alone or be with somebody. I'm good with being in with company, and I'm good. Like, I can self-sufficiently be cool by just isolation and just being by myself.
Yes, Mysterious. Y'all could be intense, extremely intense.
The Scorpios are super intense. When they find love, they will let you know that they are in love, and they don't mind to stand on it, and that's dope. You know what I mean?
It is dope. It's dope. And you know what? I was really, really young when it was happening, so it was kind of like, this is too much. Like, this is way too much. But that's probably where I am in my life right now. Like, I'll be 40 this year, so like now, it's like now if you want to love on me that way, let's do it. But when I'm in my 20s, I wanted to, like, let's go out and go hiking or something. Let's not just sit here and stare at each other and you keep telling me that you love me. I get it. I heard you. Let's do something else now. Mm-hmm. So it was intense at the time. So ask questions. I like this scenario situation. I do scenarios when I'm in relationships, but I've never done it in a dating process. I think I walk into dating process with absolutely no expectations at all. Like, and I've heard that that's not a good thing to do.
No, that's intentful. Anything you do, you gotta have intent. Like, if I'm going on dates, unless you're going on dates for certain reasons, just to go on it to say you're going on it, then that's fine. But if you going on a date, get something from it. Like, be intentful of what you want out of the date. Like, what am I trying to find out? Like, I'm trying to find a vibe, and I'm trying to find like chemistry, and I want to find somebody that matches me mentally, and then we can build from it because everything else, the physical is just natural. If we mentally stimulate each other, then the physical is a little easier transition. Usually, probably 85% of the time, because we mentally stimulate and we connected. And the only way you get that out is to get to know somebody and ask questions. You asking people how they are, what they like, what they don't like, and things of that nature. Once you roll in with those questions and you roll in with the punches and you know what's important to you, I'm going to ask questions about what's important to me, and I'm going to find out what's important to you. And if they align or something I can work with, then we cool. But if not, I don't waste my time. I ain't going to waste your time.
Questions. And not like, Because I told this to somebody the other day, and I think I offended them all the way. I told them I don't like to be asked questions, but I think it's like questions with no intent, right? Don't just ask me where I am and what I'm doing all day. I don't like. What are you asking?
That's the new LOL though. It's like what to say, like especially.
Yeah, it gets on the nerves.
I text you. I'm guilty of that. I'm a what you doing, how's work type of guy. Because if something happened interesting, it is. If not, it's not. But it's a form of checking in. Like that's a form of checking in. So I don't be bothered by it, unless we send in voice notes or something like that, or something funny we seen on the news or social media. But other than that, we won't communicate daily because I'm at work and I'm working, and when I'm not at work, I'm either working out or I'm writing. So we checking in to see, yo, how was that? How was this? How do you feel? Like mental checks, like how was you? You know what I mean? Sometimes you might need to vent.
I'd rather just get the "I'm thinking about you" text message. Like, I'm thinking about you. How's your day going? Then what are you doing?
Oh, so you want it in front of it? I'm thinking about you. How's your day going?
Yeah, I want you to tell me that you're thinking about me, and and I'll let you know that I'm thinking about you. But I don't want the "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing now?"
What are you doing? Is I thought about you. I ain't had to text you and say anything. I thought about you and said, damn, what you doing? Where you at? I get it though, but
because and that's I offended him for that reason because he texted me, "What are you doing?" And I had already told him that I didn't like it. So I'm one of those people, like, once I tell you something once, I'm not going to repeat it again. I'm just not going.
That's a Capricorn. So I'll tell you till you blue in the face, and then once I feel like you understand, if you understand it and you do it, then I'm not doing it no more.
I'm not going to do it again. So he asked me what I was doing twice, and he asked me if I was at work because I didn't respond. And then he said, "Can you talk?" So after we had the conversation and I explained to him why, I don't like to be asked questions, he said, "Well, all I was trying to ask you was, can you talk?" I said, "So you should have started with that. Like, that should have been your first question. Because no matter what I'm doing, if I can't talk, I can't talk."
Men got poor, like, social media, text, and help, but men got poor communication skills nowadays anyway. It seems like a lot of people are lacking from, like, regular, tangible, like, conversation. You know what I mean? People don't really know how to hold a conversation. Like, people don't know what to ask, what to say, what to do outside of what you're doing and how's your day. Like, people don't know how to have conversation, and that's one thing that we lacking from, I'm gonna say, the black community. Like, people don't know how to have conversations. Everything is so short. Everything is so microwaved in on different words or certain things. It's nonverbal. It's just text messages. You know what I mean? And people don't know how to communicate. I pick up the phone and talk. I don't know so much if I'm a phone person now because I talk on the phone all day. I do sales, so all I'm doing is finessing people all day. I'm asking people questions, open-ended questions. What you doing? Da 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 da. And even so with that, and then I got to run a business after it. So it's a lot for me to talk. So I like to text from time to time. So I'd rather get out when I got, how was your day? Laugh out loud, send a little joke, get it rolling like that. But other than that, I don't know. It's tough, man. It's tough. I get it, but I don't. But what you doing and stuff, I think we got to find something else outside of what you doing or how was your day.
Yeah, because y'all gonna lose me, fellas. Y'all gonna lose it. Y'all gonna lose it. I'm out. Like, after you said what you're doing for 3 days in a row, I don't even want to talk anymore. Yeah,
that gets as dead as, you be talking to yourself in there. Cool, good. You can ask it close open questions, get you closed open answers, and kills the vibe. If I'm asking you open dialogue or something like that, or something that's intentful, like, I'm thinking about you, I'm thinking about you, damn, we need to go on vacation, or damn, you know what I mean? Something like that.
Damn, I can't wait to see you. Something like that. I get it.
People don't have intentful conversations. They just be having it just to have it, just to check in. And that's how people's relationships and stuff die down. People don't talk about what they want to talk about.
So that's why I said I'm going to go on these dates, right? We're going to have to see each other. We're going to have to be creative because after so many dates, you have to start getting extremely creative, right? You can't take me to dinner 100 times.
What's your most creative? What's your most creative date to date?
Well, within this process, we cooked together.
Oh, okay.
We found a recipe that neither one of us had ever tried before, so that we would learn it together.
Okay.
So he doesn't cook, so he was my sous chef at first. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
That sounds fun. That's a sexy date, cooking together. anything like involving food and people can fellowship over food and drinks is always a good situation that you go into.
I definitely think food is a really the way people eat, right? Because my diet is really weird. I'm not quite vegan, but I'm not quite vegetarian. I don't know. I'm somewhere in between. I can't give up pizza and ice cream yet, so I can't go vegan. But a lot of people don't eat the way I do. So just talking and being able to have a conversation and then finding a medium is somewhere that is important for me. Because I want you to pay attention to the fact that I don't eat meat. Don't take me to a barbecue spot. Like, what are we gonna do there?
So, what did you cook? What did you guys cook?
Oh, we made a spinach pasta with what did we do? We did spinach pasta. We did like some kind of salad, and then we made a brown sugar glazed salmon.
Oh, that sounds really good. So, so my question to you is, when you hit your 100th date, what are you trying? What is the totality, and how does that look for you? And what do you plan to get out of it once you hit that 100th date?
I was hoping that I wouldn't make it to 100, right? I was hoping that was gonna be. I mean, I hope I was gonna continue to date anyway, but I was hoping that I wouldn't have made it to 100 before I found the person that I would be with. But it's kind of looking bleak. It's kind of looking bleak because I'm already up here and there's no real contender. So I'm hoping now that I've gotten out all the toxic traits that I have within myself, figured them out. I'm not going to work on them within the 100 days, but at least figure out what they all are. And completely drive my list of what it is that I'm looking for in a relationship, right? I understand that everybody isn't going to have everything, one complete package, but I think I'm trying to figure out what all my hard stops are.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what are some of the hard stops that you're having right now?
If I catch you in a lie, and it could be a little lie, like it doesn't need, like I don't understand this whole white lie scenario. I don't like it. I don't feel like there's any reason to lie ever, especially in a dating scenario. That's been the biggest one that I've been finding so far, or just people trying too hard to impress me. Like, I want you to be yourself. Like, whoever yourself is. I don't want to meet your representative. I don't care if you want to come out here in Jesus slippers and show me who you are.
So they say men, not to cut you off, they say men only come across 3 women in their life that are like, that they date, that are the ones. Do you feel like women have 3 men that are the ones that they come across in your life? And if so, have you met all 3 or not?
Oh, no, I don't think we do. Because I used to joke when I was in high school and say that my soulmate died before I was born. It was a joke. So I didn't think that I was meant to ever be in a relationship. I never thought I would get married. Like, I never ever thought I would be married. I didn't think that there would be anybody out there that could ever handle how aggressive I am. Mm-hmm. But that was a lie. So, because clearly I have, or haven't. I don't know. Maybe he handled it for a little while, or he pretended. I don't know. But I was married, so I crossed that. So no, I don't think that there's necessarily 3 people out there for you. I feel like I come with so many layers. There's so many different parts of me that, and I constantly change because I understand the 3 is supposed to be like the past you, the present you, and the future you. That's the 3 men that they talk about, the 3 partners that they talk about.
I never looked at it that way. I just felt like there was 3 unique women that came in your life and that were supposed to be there for you. And you might, at particular times, juggle and fumble them and may not be able to keep them in your life. And like some people do. I know that specifically I had one that I can say that I've lost. Like, damn, I wasn't ready for it in a situation. I don't know if I probably really sit down and say if I really had 2 or 3, but I know I had one for sure. It was like a one that got away, like that type of thing.
I've only ever been in love once in my life.
Okay. Was that the person you were married with?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was the only time I was ever in love in my whole life. So I don't know, because I've never felt it again. I've never felt it before. I never said the word before, and I've been in plenty of relationships, but I never even used to say the L bug. It would be just the L bug. It would never be love. So maybe I got one more in me, but I don't see three. I don't see three. So do you think that you'll meet all three in this lifetime?
Do I? I hope not. I mean, I don't plan. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it depends. I mean, I want to find the right one. I want to find, if I do find the right one, I want to find one that's for me. I mean, so whatever it takes for me to find the one that's for me, I'm with it. If I can't find it, then I'm not gonna pressure. I give that same advice to anybody. Like, I don't put too much pressure on that. Like, what's for me, I generally believe is for me. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
How do you know it's for you, though? Do you meet them and they just...
I go off vibes and energies, and I could tell if like something is for me or against me. Like, if you really are all out for me and it feel like right for me, then I'm gonna do it. Like, right now I'm in a healing stage, so it might be hard for me to identify it, but I'm not putting no pressure on me to be able to identify it at the current time. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Like, like I said, if it's for me, what goes, if I let it go, it'll come back. If not, I'm cool.
So have you ever taken an ex back, or will you take an ex back?
I have. I mean, I don't know if I would take an ex back. I mean, it just depends on certain circumstances. My ex is my ex for a reason. It would have to be some hard lessons that I would want to know, and it would have to be a lot of growth for me to be like, between both of us, for me to be like, yeah, I want this back. But I would have to identify that, like, damn, you really are a changed person, or you know, for whatever our reasons that we broke up. It would have to be like something that's conducive to me growing and being a better Brad, so to speak. So that's
natural concept is inevitable. What's inevitable? The relationship, meeting somebody. Tell me, Nia. Explain to me what that means to you. I can't take an ex back. I don't care what the situation is, whether they've grown or they haven't grown. I'm not done.
Once you cross the bridge and it's done, it's done.
I'm done. Because me personally, I stay in relationships until the wheels fall off. So
burned out from it. You done.
Yeah, I'm done.
We all get. I feel like that too. Everybody gets to a point. I know I get burned out too. I'll take somebody back and keep taking them back. But I'm not doing that no more. Like, for me, like, if I identify it ain't for me, I'm done. I'm out. It ain't even. It's not even a question. Like, you gonna know. I'm gonna tell you. I'm not gonna ghost you. I'm gonna let you know how I feel, and I'm out.
But I used to be the queen of ghosting. So what's wrong with ghosting? I heard that I've been begged not to do that anymore. What's the thing with ghosting?
I ain't feeling it. You know what I mean? And if I feel like I don't have to have a conversation with you with it, I'm out.
So do you feel like it's unfair?
Anything, I will bail, and I'm done.
That's how I guess that's why I ghost people. I've been told that I ghost people a lot because I don't feel like I owe anybody an explanation ever. Like, I feel like once I'm done, I'm just done. I don't ever feel like I owe it to somebody. And maybe how is it inconsiderate?
Yeah, ghosting is inconsiderate because it's not a conversation to say, hey, I ain't into this no more. I don't want this no more. I'm out. Type of thing. Like,
so I feel like, and I guess this is where my selfishness comes in, right? Because I feel like I've told you in the beginning the things that I won't accept. So, like, lying specifically is the only thing I've ever really ghosted anybody for.
All right, so that was my next question. What are you ghosting for? Like,
yeah, if you lie, and I tell people all the time, there's absolutely no reason to lie to me. Like, I feel like I'm the most understanding person in the world. So if you lie to me, I don't feel like I should have to have a conversation with you after that and explain to you that I'm done. I don't even want to talk to you anymore. So
yeah, I've ghosted on different occasions myself. I think you should tell someone you're out and it's over, so we're all on the same page. I don't know. I mean, I think the mature way, ideally, you would want to have that conversation with someone and tell you that I'm out. But I don't think that. I don't know. All people not. I don't think all. I think conversations deserve to. Conversations is now that I'm saying it out loud, is important to have with everyone. And you tell them how it is, and you just stand on what you feel. Hey, listen, this not working out for me no more. I just want to let you know, like, I'm just falling back. For me, it's nothing to you, but, I gotta get my shit together, and, this not conducive for me like this. Instead of leading you on or dragging you on, this where I'm at.
In my experience, whenever I've tried to have a conversation with somebody, they try to explain it away. And then I just call, all I see is bullshit. So for me, what I tell people is when you lie to me, all I hear you saying, I don't hear the actual words that you're saying. All I hear you saying is that I'm stupid, right? That's the words that are coming out. I just hear you saying, this girl is dumb. She's going to believe this. She's going to believe this. She's dumb. So I don't want to talk to you anymore. I feel like you don't respect me enough to tell me the truth. I don't feel like I owe you anything at that point. So you're right, Mysterious. Maybe I'm being inconsiderate. Another toxic trait. Let me write that one down.
Yeah, that's definitely a toxic trait. You gotta have I'm gonna over communicate. So there's no blur lines. So we know where it is, but I set the expectation in the beginning, and and if I need to, I'll extend my expectations during the process of us talking. But to be honest, you really don't owe anybody anything. It's like a job. Like if one day you pick up, we no longer need your services. I believe in that too. Like if you feel like, I don't need to have a conversation. You know what you're doing, whatever. But if I ghost you because I'm bored with you, because you get bored quick too. You're a Capricorn, so I get bored sometimes too. So if I get bored and I'm like, this ain't keeping my attention. This ain't what it is. I'm out. I'll gradually.
I'll have conversations about if you're boring me, because I want to give you the opportunity to correct it. I feel like if it's something that you can actually correct or we can correct together, then I'll have the conversation with you. I'll be like, hey, we've been talking. You keep asking me what you're doing every day. I'm starting to get frustrated with that. Can we do something different? Can we approach it differently? I'll have that conversation. But I just feel like once you've lied to me, I just don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, ghosting ain't no fun when a rabbit got the gun, because when you get ghosted, it's definitely definitely another feeling towards that. Like when you get ghosted,
wow.
I really don't care. People I know it is. People, I understand that people are in your life for seasons and reasons, and I don't hold no merit to it. I don't hold no expectations to nobody, because the moment you hold expectations to a person, you will always get let down, regardless of what that look like. So.
Somebody asked that the other day, what is an unrealistic expectation of a person in a relationship? And I said, every expectation is unrealistic.
Absolutely. Every expectation is unrealistic. You can't control people. I'm a firm believer, you can only control what you can control. And the moment that you set yourself up to believe in a person to do certain things is the moment you set yourself up for failure, and those things will not happen. Because they will not be done in the manner that you want them to be done. So there's no point in starting that.
Mysterious, I've been ghosted too, but I guess it didn't bother me. It didn't bother me because I felt like kind of like how you said earlier, Brad, it was their loss. Whatever they didn't want to communicate about or talk about, it was no skin off my back. But here's the thing, if you ghost me, you can't come back later and be like, well, a couple years ago I ghosted you, but it was because.
I seen that on Secure when I don't know if his name is Daniel. Issa got ghosted and he came back, but he ghosted her because he had a lot of mental illnesses, not mental illness, but he had something going on mentally that he kind of wanted to separate, where he had to go on this journey alone, and then came back yo, hey, what's up? And he was like, yo, listen, I was going through something personal.
No, he could have just said that, hey, I got a lot going on right now. I'm going to have to go away for a little bit. I feel like when you ghost somebody, that's you burning that bridge. And you're saying, I don't care about what's on the other end of that bridge. I don't care if you ever call me back or talk to me again. So when I ghost somebody, it's because I really don't care if you ever talk to me again. So don't come back later on. Tell me, we don't have to have a conversation. Write me a letter while you're in your mental rehab and say, hey, I needed to take some time out. But you can't just disappear. Mm-hmm. So yes, I do expect transparency and honesty, but I don't feel like it's owed to me.
I got you.
I don't feel like anybody owes me anything. So
cool.
I want you to be whoever you are, and so I've recently, people have been asking me, guys that I've been dating or pursuing to date, or they've been pursuing me to date, they've been asking me, what is it that I'm looking for in a man? And I've been telling them, I'm not looking for anything in particularly. Show me who you are. I'll let you know whether that fits in my life or not. I had one guy tell me, oh, that's because you don't know what you want. No, I know exactly what I want. I just don't want you to show up, your representative to show up being all the things that I said I wanted. So I want you to be whoever you are, whoever that is, because maybe you're just meant to be my friend. Maybe you're not meant to be somebody that I'm gonna date romantically.
Right. That's a dope expectation to have. You have none.
None. I want you to be whoever you are, and then once we walk in and we start talking, I'll know, right? I'll know pretty instantly, This isn't somebody that I see romantically, but he's still a dope dude. It doesn't take away the fact that he's a dope guy. So, like, maybe we could go play golf together or something. But I don't want to be your girlfriend. So, I don't know. But Brad, thank you so much. I know I've taken up all your football time. I know Eagles weren't playing. Thank you guys for logging in. I'm going to continue this dating process. I'm hoping that I learned at least 3 toxic traits about myself today, just talking to you. So, I try to take away, and that's part of what I do on my blog. Not only do I write the toxic traits or the red flags, not toxic traits, red flags that I've seen on the dates with other people, but I also write the toxic traits that I learned about myself on the date. Because we made this list of what we're looking for in our minds, of what we want out of a relationship. And then I'll go out with a guy that has all of those things on my list, and then the vibe just wasn't right. So then I have to reevaluate that list that I made. So I think that's why the expectation things went out of the window. Thank you guys for thank you for wishing me luck. I hope I'm not out here forever. I'm getting too old. Getting tired. I need somebody to watch Hulu with.
I got you. Well, good luck with all the stuff, man. Good luck with all your endeavors and your dates. I'm definitely be paying attention to your journey of this. This is definitely awesome conversation. I use all this type of stuff when I write too. So this was definitely informative just to hear you and pick your brain and see how you do things and that. So I appreciate you. So thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday fun day.
All right, you too. All right, y'all.
All right, bye.